The gun pressed harder against Mary's temple, cold metal biting into her skin. Her heart hammered so violently she thought it might burst through her chest. 3 masked men had her surrounded in the penthouse kitchen, and the one holding her, the leader, smelled like cigarettes and sweat. "Count to 3, Mr. Kim," the man shouted toward the study. 1! Mary's eyes fixed on the doorway. Jin-woo appeared, hands raised, his face pale. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. It never did. He hadn't spoken in 10 years. 2! Jin-woo took a step forward, his dark eyes wide with something Mary had never seen before. Terror. Raw, absolute terror. 3! That's it, she's... Mary. The word exploded from Jin-woo's throat like it was ripping him apart from the inside. His voice cracked, rusty and desperate and completely shattered. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how a dancer from Lagos ended up married to Korea's richest man who couldn't speak, and how we got to this moment where his voice, silent for a decade, finally broke free. If you're new here, welcome to our channel where we bring you the most captivating love stories from around the world. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a story. Trust me, you'll want to stay until the end of this one. 6 months earlier, Mary Okonkwo stood in her small dance studio in Lagos, staring at the eviction notice in her hands. The paper trembled because her hands were shaking. 3 months behind on rent. Her evening class, 12 kids who couldn't afford to go anywhere else would have nowhere to dance. "Miss Mary, are we dancing today?" 7-year-old Kioma peeked through the door, her face hopeful. Mary folded the notice and smiled. "Yes, baby, we're dancing today." She taught that class like it might be her last. Afrobeat pounded through the speakers and the kids moved with joy that made Mary's chest ache. This studio was everything. After her father died, dancing had saved her. Nosh saved others through it. Her phone buzzed during cool-down. Unknown international number. "Miss Okonkwo." A crisp, professional voice spoke in accented English. "My name is Park Min-jun. I'm calling in behalf of the Kim Corporation in Seoul. We have a proposition that might interest you." That's how Mary found herself on a plane to South Korea 2 weeks later, her mother's words echoing in her head. "Be careful, my daughter. Nothing good comes free." Kim Corporation offices looked like something out of a science fiction movie. Glass and steel in cold perfection. Park Min-jun met her in a conference room that overlooked the entire city. "Thank you for coming, Miss Okonkwo." He gestured to a chair. "I'll be direct. Mr. Kim Jin-woo, CEO of this corporation and heir to the Kim family fortune, would like to propose a marriage arrangement." Mary laughed, actually laughed. "I'm sorry, what?" 1 year of marriage. You'll be compensated 50 million won upon completion of the contract. All expenses paid. You may send money home as needed." The laughter died in her throat. 50 million won. That was over $40,000. She could save her studio, pay her mother's medical bills, change everything. Why would a billionaire need to pay someone to marry him? Park Min-jun's professional mask slipped slightly. "Mr. Kim has severe selective mutism. He hasn't spoken in 10 years. His family believes a fresh perspective might help him. Someone outside our world. Someone genuine." "You mean someone desperate enough to say yes?" "I mean someone strong enough to handle the pressure." Park leaned forward. "The Kim family is Korea's 3rd richest dynasty. The media attention will be intense. The family's expectations will be suffocating. Most women couldn't survive it." Mary should have said no, should have walked out. But she thought about Kioma and the other kids. About her mother working 3 jobs at 60 years old. About her studio with its cracked mirrors and the eviction notice. "I want to meet him first." Jin-woo Kim sat across from her in a private lounge, and Mary's breath caught despite herself. He was beautiful in that sharp, almost painful way. High cheekbones, intense dark eyes, perfect black suit. But it was his stillness that struck her most. He didn't fidget, didn't smile, just watched her with an expression she couldn't read. "Mr. Kim," she said, "I'm going to be honest, I need the money, but I won't pretend to be something I'm not. I'm not going to play the quiet, obedient wife if that's what you're expecting." He pulled out a small notepad and wrote in neat handwriting, "I won't pretend to love you, but I will respect you." Something in his eyes, a loneliness that mirrored her own, made Mary nod. "Okay, 1 year." Wedding happened 3 weeks later. Cold, formal. Jin-woo's family lined up like beautiful, disapproving statues. His grandmother was the only one who smiled at Mary, squeezing her hand and whispering, "Welcome." "Child," cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. "Mr. Kim, is it true your wife is from Africa? How did Yao meet? Does she speak Korean?" Jin-woo's hand found the small of Mary's back, firm and protective, guiding her through the chaos. He didn't speak, but his body said enough. She's with me. Back off. The penthouse was enormous and empty. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Seoul's glittering skyline. Mara stood in the living room, her suitcase at her feet, and felt the weight of her decision settle over her. Jin-woo appeared with a key card. He held it out to her, then pointed down the hall and wrote, "Your room, private. I won't enter without permission." "Thank you," Mary whispered. He nodded and disappeared into another wing of the penthouse. That first week was the longest of Mary's life. She wandered the massive apartment like a ghost. Jin-woo left for work at 6 in the morning, returned at 8 at night. They'd eat dinner in silence. She'd try to make conversation. He'd nod or shake his head. That was it. "So," Mary said on day 5, cutting her kimchi, "I thought Seoul would be colder, but it's actually quite nice." Jin-woo nodded. "I miss dancing, though, the movement, the music." He looked up at her, something flickering in his eyes, interest maybe, but then he looked back down at his food. "Do you like music?" Mary pressed. Jin-woo hesitated, then wrote, "Used to." What changed? His pen hovered over the paper. Then he stood and left the table. Mary wanted to scream. On day 12, she discovered the ballroom. Huge. Empty. Perfect wooden floors and mirrors along one wall. She pulled out her phone, connected to the speaker system through sheer determination and broken Korean, and let Afrobeat fill the space. Her body remembered what her mind couldn't hold. She danced until sweat soaked through her shirt, until her muscles burned, until she felt like herself again. When the song ended, she collapsed on the floor, breathing hard. A soft sound made her look up. Jin-woo stood in the doorway. She had no idea how long he'd been there. "Sorry," she panted. "I'll keep it down." He shook his head quickly, then wrote, "Beautiful." Mary's heart did something complicated in her chest. "The dancing or the music? Both. Do you dance?" "Never." "Wanna learn?" Jin-woo's expression shifted. Fear, actual fear. He shook his head and disappeared, but the next day when Mary danced again, she caught his shadow in the hallway, watching, and the day after that. And the day after that, 3 weeks into the marriage, Mary made a decision. She enrolled in a Korean sign language course. "If he won't speak," she told her mother over video call, "then I'll learn another way to talk to him." Her mother's face was skeptical. "And if he won't sign either?" "Then at least I tried." Mary attacked KSL with the same intensity she'd once attacked dance. 5 hours a day, flashcards, YouTube videos, practice partners at the community center. Her hands cramped, her brain ached, but she learned. 8 weeks after the wedding, Mary signed to Jin-woo for the first time. "Good morning." "Did you sleep well?" Her hands moved carefully, precisely. She'd practiced this exact phrase 50 times. Jin-woo froze with his coffee cup halfway to his lips. His eyes moved from her hands to her face. Something complicated passed over his expression. Surprise, maybe hope then. Sadness, deep, aching sadness. He set down his cup and walked away. Mary stood there, hands still positioned in the final sign, feeling like she'd been punched. But she didn't stop. Every day she signed, "I made breakfast, it's raining. I saw a cat on the balcony, how waswork." Jin-woo never signed back. He'd look at her hands, sometimes for long moments, but he never responded, never even tried. "I don't understand," Mary told her KSL tutor, a kind woman named Mrs. Kim. "He clearly knows sign language. I've seen him react to it. Why won't he use it?" Mrs. Kim adjusted her glasses. "Some people who experience trauma around communication, they shut down all forms of it, not just speech. It's like they're afraid the act of communicating itself will bring back whatever hurt them." "What do I do?" "You keep showing up. You keep trying. And you accept that he might never meet you there." Mary wanted to quit, wanted to count down the days until the year ended and she could take her money and go home. But something kept her trying. And then she started noticing things. Her favorite Nigerian tea, she'd mentioned it once in passing weeks ago, appeared on the counter every morning. Jin-woo didn't drink it, but it was always there for her. When she practiced dancing, she'd catch him in the shadows of the ballroom, not just watching, leaning forward, engaged. Once she fell asleep on the couch watching a movie. She woke up covered with his jacket, the soft material smelling like his cologne. At the charity gala they had to attend, a drunk businessman got too close to Mary. Jin-woo materialized between them, his body language so threatening the man stumbled backward, apologizing. Jin-woo didn't touch Mary, but he stayed close the rest of the night, a silent guardian. Mary started leaving him notes. "Thank you for the tea. I saw you watching me dance. Did you like it? Your jacket smells nice." He never wrote back, but the small gestures continued. 4 months into the marriage, Jin-woo's grandmother invited Mary for tea. The old woman's home was traditional Korean, beautiful and peaceful. Frustrated with him, Grandmother Kim said, pouring tea with steady hands. I don't understand him, Mary admitted. I've tried everything. He won't talk, won't sign. But then he dosed these little things that make me think he cares. I don't know what's real. Grandmother Kim was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, Can I tell you a story? Please. Jin-woo's parents died when he was 17. Car accident. He was driving. Mary's teacup stopped halfway to her lips. We're arguing, Jin-woo and his mother. He was a teenager, rebellious, angry about something I can't even remember now. He yelled at her while driving, lost focus. A truck ran a red light. The old woman's eyes were distant. He survived, they didn't. God, Mary whispered. The last words he spoke were angry words to his mother. I hate you, I wish I'd never been born into this family. Typical teenager nonsense. Then the crash, then silence. Grandmother Kim looked at Mary directly. He believes his voice is cursed, that speaking brings death, that he killed them with his words. Mary's eyes burned with tears. That's not how it works. Trauma doesn't care about logic, child. For 10 years, he's locked his voice away, locked everything away until you. I haven't changed anything. Haven't you? The old woman smiled. He watches you dance. He makes you tea. He protects you. Do you know how long it's been since Jin-woo showed interest in another human being? Since he bothered to notice what someone else needed. But he won't talk to me. He's terrified. Opening up, communicating, speaking in his mind, that's what caused the accident. His voice killed his parents. What if his voice kills you too? Mary cried the whole subway ride home. She understood now. The walls Jin-woo had built weren't just high. They were reinforced with guilt and trauma and fear so deep it had stolen his voice. That night, she found him in his study. He looked up when she entered, surprise flickering across his face. Mary signed slowly. I know about your parents. I'm sorry. Jin-woo went absolutely still. She continued signing. You didn't kill them. The accident did. Your voice isn't cursed. His hands clenched on his desk. He shook his head violently. Mary knelt beside his chair. She took one of his hands in both of hers. I'm not going anywhere, she said aloud, knowing he could read her lips. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to sign. But I'm here, and I'm not afraid of you. Jin-woo's eyes were wet. He pulled his hand free and wrote with shaking letters, You should be. Well, I'm not. He wrote again, What if I hurt you? You won't. What if I can't give you what you need? Mary smiled sadly. You already do, the tea, the watching, the way you stand close to me at parties. I see you, Jin-woo. Even when you won't speak, I see you. A tear slid down his cheek, just one. He wiped it away quickly and turned back to his computer, dismissing her. But when Mary woke up the next morning, there was a note on her nightstand. Thank you. Things shifted after that. Jin-woo still didn't sign, still didn't speak, but he started existing in the same space more often. He'd sit in the ballroom while she danced. They'd watch movies together, not touching but other. Once he showed her pictures on his phone, his parents, young and laughing. Mary held his hand while he scrolled through them. They looked happy, she said. He nodded. Then wrote they were before I ruined it. You were 17. Kids say terrible things. It doesn't mean. He pulled his hand away, closing off again. Mary learned the rhythm of it. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Jin-woo would open up slightly, then retreat, but the opening moments grew longer. The retreats grew shorter. 6 months into the marriage, Mary woke up at midnight craving snacks. She padded to the kitchen in her pajamas, humming as she pulled out ingredients for a late-night sandwich. The first sign something was wrong was the silence. The penthouse security system should have been beeping softly. It wasn't. The second sign was the man who appeared in the kitchen doorway, masked and holding a gun. Don't scream, he said in Korean. Mary's scream died in her throat. Her sandwich ingredients clattered to the floor. 2 more men appeared. They moved through the penthouse with practiced efficiency. One headed toward Jin-woo's study. The other grabbed Mary's arm, fingers digging in painfully. Where's the safe? The leader demanded. I don't know, I'm just... He pressed the gun to her head. Don't lie to me, you're his wife. I don't know, we don't. We don't talk about that stuff. The man who'd gone to the study called out, He's here. The leader dragged Mary toward the study, gun never leaving her temple. Her legs shook so badly she could barely walk. This couldn't be happening. This couldn't be real. Jin-woo stood in his study doorway, hands raised. He was in sweatpants and a t-shirt, hair messy from sleep. His eyes locked on Mary and went wide. Mr. Kim, the leader's voice was mocking. So nice of you to join us. Your security system was surprisingly easy to disable. Now about that safe. I know you keep company secrets here. Codes, access keys worth millions to your competitors. Jin-woo's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Know about your little problem, the leader continued. Can't speak, can they say? That's fine, write it down. One of the other men thrust a notepad and pen at Jin-woo. Jin-woo didn't move. His eyes stayed on Mary. "Write it down." Jin-woo took the notepad with shaking hands. He wrote something, held it up, let her go first. The leader laughed. "How this works, the code now, or I put a bullet in her head and you watch." Jin-woo flinched like he'd been shot himself. "Got 10 seconds, 10. Jin-woo started writing frantically. 9. His hand trembled so hard the pen kept slipping. 8, please, Mary whispered, not to the intruders, to Jin-woo. "It's okay, just give them what they want." 7. Jin-woo held up the notepad again. "I don't care about the money, please don't hurt her." "Good enough." 6. "Jin-woo," Mary's voice cracked. "It's okay, I'm okay." 4. Gun pressed harder against her skull. 3. Jin-woo dropped the notepad. His whole body was shaking. "Goodbye to your pretty wife, Mr. Kim." 1. "Mary." The word came out like it was tearing Jin-woo's throat to pieces. Raw, desperate, completely shattered, everyone froze, even the intruders stared. Jin-woo's chest heaved. His eyes were wild, terrified. And then he kept speaking, words tumbling out in a voice that cracked and broke because it hadn't been used in 10 years. Don't hurt her." Tears streamed down his face. "Please. Take everything, the money, all of it, the safes behind the painting. Code is 517, take it, take everything." "Jin-woo," Mary breathed. "She has nothing to do with this." His voice was getting stronger, louder, desperate. "She's innocent, she's just please, I'll give you anything, just don't hurt her." Sirens suddenly wailed outside. The intruder's head snapped toward the windows. "Shit, the silent alarm. We need to go now." The leader shoved Mary forward. She stumbled and Jin-woo caught her, his arms wrapping around her as the intruders fled. Heavy footsteps pounded. Security burst through the door. Shouts, chaos, but Mary only heard Jin-woo. "Are you hurt?" His voice cracked around every word. "Mary, are you hurt? Please tell me you're okay, please. I couldn't let the last thing I said be nothing." Mary pulled back to look at his face. Tears streaked his cheeks. His eyes were red and wild and more open than she'd ever seen them. "You spoke," she whispered. "I thought they'd kill you." His hands cupped her face, shaking. I couldn't die having never told you." "Told me what?" Security was calling for ambulances. Someone was asking them questions. Jin-woo ignored all of it. "That I fell in love with you," he said, voice breaking on every syllable. "Watching you dance your terrible Korean. The way you learned sign language just to talk to me even though I was too afraid to sign back. Your notes, your smile, the way you see me even when I can't speak." Mary was crying now too. "Jin-woo, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I was a coward. I thought if I stayed silent I couldn't hurt you, couldn't say something I'd regret. But almost losing you and having never said I love you, that would have been the worst thing of all." "You're not cursed," Mary said fiercely. "Your voice didn't kill your parents, but it just saved my life." Jin-woo made a sound between a laugh and a sob. "I don't know how to do this, to talk, to be open. I'm going to mess it up." "Then mess it up." Mary grabbed his face. "Mess it up 1,000 times. I don't care, just don't go silent on Megan." "I won't, I swear." He kissed her. Desperate and messy and tasting like salt from both their tears. When they pulled apart, Jin-woo pressed his forehead to hers. "I love you," he whispered. "I love you, I love you. I love you too. If you're still watching, thank you for sticking with us through this incredible journey." Mary and Jin-woo's story reminds us that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the quiet gestures, the small moments of care, the courage to finally speak when it matters most. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and let us know in the comments what you thought. Have you ever had to find new ways to communicate with someone you love? Share your stories below. We love reading them. 6 months later, Mary stood in her new dance studio in Seoul. It was bright and open with huge mirrors and a sound system that made her old Lagos studio look ancient. Korean and Nigerian kids mixed together in her class, moving to Afrobeat and K-pop fusion. Jin-woo leaned against the doorframe, watching. He did that a lot now. Watched her openly instead of from the shadows. When class ended and the kids left, he walked over. "How was it?" His voice was still quiet, still careful. He'd been working with a therapist and a speech coach. Some days wear harder than others. But he spoke. "Perfect," Mary said. Then she signed it too, because she'd worked too hard on her KSL to let it go to waste. Jin-woo smiled, really smiled, the kind that lit up his whole face and signed back, "You're perfect." Liar. "Truth." He pulled her close. "I'm still not great at this. The talking thing, I probably never will be." "You're doing just fine. The therapist says I use silence as a defense mechanism. That I need to practice staying present even when it's uncomfortable." "Okay, so stay present now. Tell me something uncomfortable." Jin-woo was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I'm terrified this is all going to disappear, that I'll wake up and you'll be gone and it'll have been a dream. Mary's chest ached. What else? Sometimes I still want to go silent. When things get hard, the instinct is still there. That's okay, what else? I don't deserve you. Wrong, but keep going. He huffed a small laugh. You're very bossy. I'm Nigerian, what did you expect? Jin-woo kissed her forehead. I love you. It again. I love you. More time. I love you. He signed it too, fingers moving in the patterns he'd finally learned from her. Is that enough? Never, Mary said, grinning. I'm going to make you say it 1,000 times a day until you're sick of it. Impossible. They locked up the studio together as the sun set over Seoul. Jin-woo took her hand, still a small miracle, him reaching out first. My grandmother wants us to come to dinner, he said. Your grandmother loves me more than you do. Possible, Mary laughed. You've gotten smooth with words. Careful or I'll make you give speeches at company events. Jin-woo's face went pale. Too far. Baby steps, Mary agreed. They walked through the Seoul streets, hand in hand, talking about nothing and everything. Jin-woo's voice was soft but steady. Mary's laugh rang out clear and bright. And if Jin-woo sometimes went quiet for a while, just existing in comfortable silence beside her, Mary didn't mind. Because she'd learned something in their year together. Love wasn't always about words. Sometimes love wastia left on the counter. Sometimes it was watching someone dance from the shadows. Sometimes it was learning a whole new language just to say good morning. But when words finally came, raw and desperate and terrified, breaking through a decade of silence to scream her name, that was love too. The kind that broke through walls. The kind that saved lives. The kind worth fighting for. Before we go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more heartfelt stories like this one. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And if you enjoyed Mary and Jin-woo's journey, give us a thumbs up and share this with someone who needs to hear a story about finding love in unexpected places. Comment below and tell us, what moment touched you the most? Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next story.